What is the process for someone being charged with a small amount or misdemeanor amount of drugs is oftentimes a person can be ticketed. They've given in New York what's called a DAT, a desk appearance ticket. That's when a police officer or the arresting officer takes a person to the police station, checks to see if that person has a criminal record or any open or active warrants by running a record check. And if the person does not have any open or active warrants, and if the person doesn't have a criminal background, oftentimes the person is given the DAT. And what that ultimately is a ticket telling the person to report to court on a date certain in the future. If a person's given a DAT, that means the person won't be going to jail that night. Now, obviously, if the person is charged with a crime and to be given a DAT, you would be charged with a crime. There still is jail or terms of incarceration that could ultimately be imposed. But as for that night, the person will not be going to jail. If the person doesn't show up for his or her court date with a DAT, the judge typically will issue what's called a warrant or a bench warrant. And that is an order that goes into a national database that says that this person has a specific charge, is wanted for that, and needs to be in a specific courthouse. And then any law enforcement agent in the country will have access to that database. And if they ever do what's called running a record check, or as we say in New York City, running the raps, that warrant will come up, and that person will be detained wherever she or he is inside the country. And once that person is detained, the detaining law enforcement agency, so let's say, for example, if the person is detained in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles police will then contact New York City and ask if New York City law enforcement agents want to go to Los Angeles and return the person to the court in New York.